Good morning. It is Saturday the 1st of November and it's just coming up to 11:30. So yeah, I've not done any Uber this week. Obviously I was out last Saturday. Didn't come out last night for Halloween. Obviously I've got kids myself, so I had like a couple of little kids parties and whatnot to go to, so yeah, didn't bother. So yeah, I thought I'd come out today. I would have come out a little bit earlier, but I had a private job to do, so I've dropped them off before. I've just gone and got a little quick top up on a rapid charger, and I was just about to set off. Just had a couple of little errands and whatnot to do beforehand. So yeah, that's about it. I've just opened the app now. It's actually saying it's surging in and around Ormskirk, which I don't really believe. It's saying it's surging all around Skelmersdale. I can see as far as like Blackpool. It's saying it's all surging in Blackpool. Not that I'm going to be going up there. That's about it. So yeah, it's been absolutely throwing it down, the weather. It's freezing cold. I thought that might have helped, but I think the rain has died off now. Just have a look. Yeah, so it's not supposed to be raining now until about midnight, and then I think it's supposed to be pretty much a monsoon from there onwards. So I'll log on and I will keep you updated and see how I'm getting on. So a little bit of an update. It's just turned 1:30. It's been 2 hours. It's been quite busy, to be honest. I've just logged off now. It's saying I've been offered 36 jobs, but I've accepted 9. But yeah, it's like I said, it's been busy. It's still surging now, to be honest. I'll just run through some of these for you. Should be nice and quick because there's only been 9. So yeah, I started off a little £5.10. 5-minute job going 1.3 miles. Next job, including the £2 tip, was £7.07. 6-minute job going 1.5 miles. Another surge job, £6.83, 6 minutes going 1.5 miles. Then had a 7.47, that was a 4-minute job going 1.5 miles. Then I had a surge job including a £2 tip, £9.82. That was an 8-minute job going 3.3 miles. Customer cancelled. I then had an £8.29. That was an 18-minute job going 5.6 miles. Another customer cancelled. A 5.54, 3-minute job going less than a mile. A surge job, apparently £3.99, 3-minute job going 0.9 of a mile. And then the last one I've just dropped off again at the train station. Surge job, £9.30, 8-minute job going 3 miles. So currently on £63.41. So yeah, I've just gone like £31.70 an hour. So yeah, not too bad, to be honest. It's been okay. So I have been getting offered larger jobs, 40, some were 43. The largest was about 51. I think it was 52. But what you have to bear in mind is that all those jobs were going in and around Ormskirk or maybe Skem. They were going to Liverpool. And I've done it time and time again in the past, and I can't be bothered doing it. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to do, say like I would have took the £50 job, let's say, because that was the biggest one. That's going to be at least an hour, if not just a little bit more. So you're not going to get anything in Liverpool coming back. You're not going to do it. You can hope you'll get something, but you won't. You know, it'd be an absolute miracle if you were to get there and then get like a £50 job coming back. I've been doing Uber for like 14, 15 months now, and that's never happened. So the likelihood is you're going to drive there and you're going to drive back. So basically that's 2 hours and you would have been on 50 quid. And then for me, obviously, to get to Liverpool and back for that one job, let's just see what the actual miles are. So it's Liverpool city centre here. Obviously it's an hour, it's 20 miles. So all in I would have been on about 40 miles and I would have been on, say, £50. So I would have been on £25 an hour. Now I've been out now and I've done 39 miles. So granted, I've done pretty much the same amount of miles I would have done for that job. However, I would only be on £50, whereas I'm now on 63. So a lot of them jobs I've been accepting have been like £5-6 a job, and they've been like 10-minute jobs. Because then I'm thinking, well, if you're taking loads of these smaller jobs, Granted, you're doing more, so there's more people getting in and out, but then you're going to be finishing on hopefully around £30 an hour, rather than, like I said, I've taken that biggest job there. Some of the other ones were like 40, 41, again going to Liverpool. So again, I would have come back, I would have done about 40 miles, which is similar to what I'm on now. I've done 39 miles up to now, and you only would have been on about £20 an hour. So it makes a massive difference, cherry picking. I've said it time and time again, and I stick by it. You have to cherry pick. If you don't, like I said, you're going to be earning a hell of a lot less money. So I'll go back online now because it's busy. So another hour has passed. It's coming up to 10 to 3. So yeah, when I do the updates, because I waffle on for a bit, it always puts me like 10 minutes behind, so I can't finish it on the hour. So it's in and around an hour, because like the last one was what? I don't know what time it was now. It was 1:30, sorry. Yeah, so I'd stopped at 1:30, and then by the time I waffled and then started again, it was like 1:45. So yeah, it's been roughly an hour anyway. So I've only done a couple of jobs, but it's still been ticking over, to be fair. So first job I done was £7.21. That was no, tell a lie. It was £5.09, 6-minute job going 1.3 miles. Then a £7.21, 7 minutes going 2.5 miles. Surge job, £7.23, 3-minute job going 0.8 of a mile. And then I've just done another £7.25 for 9 minutes going 3 miles. So, I don't know, they all seem to be £7 jobs for some reason. So that gave me, I think it was about £30, was it? Well, really should have done 7, 14, 20, 21, no, slightly less, wasn't it? 21, about £27, something like that, without me going into it too much. So yeah, currently on £90.19, so still over the £30 an hour, but only just, I think it was like 31 something before. But yeah, still in Ormskirk. Haven't gone any further. There was loads of jobs that were kept coming up for Liverpool, like I said before. And then driver Denny messaged me, and he said, careful not to be tempted with the city centre today. There's thousands here. I think he said there's football, there's a river of bloody lights. Oh yeah, down at the docks, and there's a rave on as well. So like I said before, that's why I avoided it, because I knew I wasn't going to get any jobs back out of Liverpool. And obviously driver Denny's confirmed that, because he's obviously told me the events that's on down there, and that's one of the reasons why I don't go down there, because you just don't get anything coming out. So yeah, like I said, I've been busy, and obviously what's happened is all of the other drivers, or the out of town drivers, have obviously seen that. They've sent up the flare, so to speak, to all the others. So they've all gone stampeding down here, thinking, happy days, it's going to be booming down here. And then little towns like, you know, where I'm at now, Ormskirk, obviously, because there isn't many drivers left, now we're busy. So it just goes to show that there's way too many drivers. It's just overpopulated. And now down in Liverpool, they're all going to be fighting now over, like, you know, £3-4 jobs. So I'll give you another update in a bit. So it's just after 5:30, and I've just stopped to charge up and have a little bit of a break. So last update was just before 3 o'clock, I believe. It's been taken over, to be honest. It's been quite busy, to be fair. So after that last update, I went straight on to an XL job. That was £11.42, 8-minute job going 4.2 miles. Again, just in and around Ormskirk, all these jobs like Bearsco to Ormskirk and whatnot. I then had a priority, £7.60. That was a 4-minute job going 1.4 miles. A little £5.34, 4-minute job going 1.3 miles. Another £3.79, 3-minute job going less than a mile. A surge job, I don't know how they can even call it a surge job, £4.10. It was a 3-minute job going 0.8 of a mile. That was another uni one. Lots of people have been going to the train station today. I know there's lots going on in Liverpool. I think the rugby's on, football, there's a concert, and the lights down at the docks. So just loads of people have just been going back and forth, either to the uni or to the train station. Then I had a £6.58, the 11-minute job, 6.2 miles. So that's the furthest I've been, I think, today. that was taking me from Ormskirk to Skelmersdale, and then as soon as I dropped off I had a job in Skelmersdale coming back into Ormskirk, which was quite handy. £8.28, 15-minute job going 5.1 miles. Then had a £4.18 as soon as I landed for 4 minutes going 1.2 miles. I don't mind them, because if you're dropping off at the train station and someone stood there waiting to be picked up, even though it's a bit of a poorish fare, like £4 something, I don't mind doing it. Then had another priority, £8.48. That was an 11-minute job going 4.3 miles. That was to go, the guy was going back towards Preston. Apparently the trains only run once an hour. He just stepped out of the side of his house and the train was cancelled. So basically he had to go to Burscough. As soon as I dropped off in Burscough, there was someone coming from Burscough back into Ormskirk, which was quite handy. £9.99. That was a 10-minute job going 3.9 miles. And then as I was starting to drop them off, it flashed up to say, you know, basically you need to start making your way towards a charger. Me being me, I thought, no, go on, I'll accept another job. So I accepted a little £3.79. It was a 4-minute job going less than a mile. So I dropped them off, went and picked some food up, and I've just got to this rapid charger now. So in between that, I've been having a bit of a laugh with driver Denny. He's he was, I think he said he was going to drive up towards like St Helens, because he too was trying to avoid Liverpool like the plague, basically, because of everything that was going on. And then he sent me a voice note saying he's in the middle of nowhere. I think he's just used to, like, you know, the city, you know, Liverpool, built up houses, and now he's like, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I think it was just like he was a bit scared of the wilderness, because just tractors and everything. So I sent him a screenshot of basically the Uber app, because like I mentioned it on the video last week, because while I'm in Ormskirk, obviously it's classed as West Lancs, I can see what's going on in like Ormskirk, Manchester, Blackpool, Preston. But then, you know, basically just to my left and basically all the way around me is Merseyside, which is, you know, Southport and Maghull, St Helens, everything. But I can't see what's going on. And if I just drive, you know, slightly just over the border, then I can see everything. So obviously I sent him a screenshot, because I said the whole of Ormskirk is all surging. I said, so if you buy St Helens and there's not much going on, you might as well pot it across here. So he's on his way to Ormskirk, which is just at the exact same time as I've pretty much got to the charger. So I'm going to be here now for a good 30 to 45 minutes, I reckon, by the time I eat. I'll be here less if I just charged and got off, but I want to have a bit of a break, because I've done 6 hours now. So yeah, I want a little bit of a break. Put my feet up in the back, get the table out. But that's about it. I left someone a 1-star review before for being snotty. Well, snotty, just arrogant, really. It was kind of like, pulled up at theirs, this woman comes out, right, maybe 30, I'm guessing she was with her mum or something, it must have been 60s, maybe 70, and she kind of looks over at me and then rolls her eyes, and I'm like, why is she rolling her eyes at me? Like, is that just me, or is that... So I'm trying to figure out why she would roll her eyes, and the only thing I can think of is because her mum had like a bit of a walking stick. She was fine walking, and I've pulled up in an XL. Maybe she's a bit annoyed at that, I don't know. She didn't say anything. So anyway, opened the door for them. She gets her mum in. Her mum climbed in fine, so there was no issues. Like, she gets in, press the button, shut the door. So then I have to like reverse, because we're in like a little cul-de-sac. So I'm waiting for someone to say something. Because bearing in mind, they've both got in here. Neither of them have said hello, kiss me ass, nothing. Just got in. So I was like, right, okay, reversed. Started driving off. And then you just start talking amongst themselves, and I'm like, I couldn't do it. It's so rude, honestly. It doesn't matter whether you're getting into a taxi, you walk into a room, anything. If you walk into a room and someone else is sat there, even if I don't know them, I'd say, all right. It's just common courtesy, isn't it? So yeah, so they just blanked me. They didn't say anything. They were only going round the corner, dropped them off at the train station, and then she got out, the younger one, didn't say anything. Because initially I thought, I'm just going to 1-star you because you haven't said hello to me and you've rolled your eyes at me. But then the name on the booking was quite like an older name, so I thought, well, I didn't want to like leave her mum crap feedback just because the daughter's snotty. So I thought I'd give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll see what they're like when they're getting out. So they're getting out, pair them just get out, say nothing. I was like, wow. I left them a 1 star while the back door was still open. So I'm not sure how quickly it pops up on their phone to say you've got a 1 star. But I was hoping it was going to go ping on their phone as the door was shut to say you've been left a 1 star review. So yeah, that was it. So currently I'm on 163.74. I've done 6 hours, so the hourly rating has come down slightly. It's on £27.16. I think that's just a bit of a combination of some of the jobs were just getting a little bit smaller, a little bit too small. Some of them jobs I was picking up were like £4 or £5. If you're doing them, you'd be there all day making your money up. You've got to start getting some like juicier jobs to try and get your total to shoot up a little bit. So yeah, I'll stop waffling because I'm hungry, and yeah, that's it, I'm hungry. So the next update will be, well, obviously once I've gone back online and I've done about another hour, so I will catch you then. So a little update, it is now just after 8:30. So I've been back online for just over an hour. So I was on charge a little bit longer than I wanted. What happened was, went on charge, didn't I? And then about 20 minutes, if that, into my charge, maybe 15 minutes, another car pulls up alongside me. And as I've mentioned in the other post, that particular charger, which is only a 50 kilowatt charger, it halves to 25 kilowatts if another car goes on. So I sat there initially, this guy was messing about trying to get his car on charge, and I thought hopefully he might just go somewhere else. And he comes over and knocks on the window. I was like, oh, no. So I had to get out, and he was like, oh, he said, this is my brand new car. He said, it's the first time I've used the rapid charger, can you help us? I was like, yeah, okay. So he's pulled up in this brand new Porsche. So I was like, right, okay. So I was showing him how to do that. Anyway, I ended up standing there because now it, like I said, now it dropped from 50 kilowatts to 25. That's like double my time. I'm now looking at like an hour and a half for a full charge. So I was talking to him for about an hour, to be honest, about like different like businesses and this, that, and all the rest of it. So anyway, I didn't come back online until about 7:15, so I was there for like an hour and 15, and then I had to shoot round the corner. So anyway, I was offline for almost 2 hours. I pretty much started at about 7:30. So I've done basically an hour. So as soon as I came online, a little tiny job, £3.79. That was, oh, tell a lie, no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. It was an XL job, £6.09. It was a 3-minute job going 0.9 of a mile. Then had this customer cancelled one, so it was at the train station. I'm in the one-way system, just about to turn left to go to the train station, but I can see the blue dot where the customer is over on the right. Now I can't turn right or stop and wave him down or whatever because he's down a one-way street. So I've just had to turn left to go to the train station, and he sends me a message saying, I'm walking over now, I'll be there in 2 minutes. So I'm like, right, okay. But I'm thinking, why has he booked it all the way to the train station? Like, he has to walk all the way there. Like, he could have booked it a lot closer. So anyway, I get down there, do a 3-point turn, I'm waiting, and then he goes into the chargeable time, and I can see the blue dot walking down, and then this guy with this girl stops probably 50 metres in front of me, and I'm thinking, you best be quick, because he's got about, I think it was like 30 seconds left before I could cancel it, which I was going to, and take the money. And then I can see them just stopped, and then just comes up saying, customer cancelled. So like, he's asked for an Uber to come. He tells me he's walking over. He walks over, stops short, and then cancels and gives me his money. So I got £3.75. So I sat there waiting for the next job, and then another job come through. It was him trying to book an Uber again because it was saying at the train station, and it was going to the same place. And I was like, well, I'm not going to accept it. Like, I could have accepted it, got him in, and took like another £4.50 off him. But I thought, I would rather you and your missus now stand there in the freezing cold after you've wasted my time. So I ignored that. That popped up 2 or 3 times, and then obviously eventually another driver accepted it, and I could just see them waiting there. I then accepted a job about 5 minutes later. That was £5.12, 3-minute job going 1.1 miles. So as I pulled off to go and get that, they were still stood there. And then I done a little £7.38. That was an 11-minute job going 4 miles. That was still technically in Ormskirk, but it wasn't far off, like Lydiate / Maghull kind of way. Dropped off there, and then I had one back in Ormskirk again, £5.92. That was a 9-minute job going 3.7 miles. Yeah, so since I've been back on, I've done what, 10, 15, 22, 23. I've done about £28 thereabouts. So it was okay, but you know, like I've dropped that last guy off, and it just seems to have gone a bit dead since then. What time did I drop him off? 10. Yeah, so I dropped him off, and it was probably pretty much bang on 1:30. So I haven't had a job for about 10 minutes. Just gone really quiet. I've been speaking to like driver Denny. He's gone home for a bit of a break. He said he's actually left his app on, and he just said like nothing's come through. It's just really dead. So I'm currently on 192, done 7 hours on the app, logged on. So that's coming out at still around £27.42 an hour. So yeah, I'd still like it to be a little bit higher. I'm going to go back on now. I'm hoping it picks up a little bit because, like I said, it has gone really quiet. So I'll give you another update. What's this one? So you can't bother this. An XL job. 15 minutes away, 6 miles away in Skem. Going 10 minutes into Wigan or 5 miles. So it's like 25-30 minute job going 11 miles. But I'm going to finish in Wigan. Can't be bothered. This one again, it's just miles away. It's £10.14, 4 minutes away. It's only 0.8 of a mile, but it's going to L31. So to me, that's like, it's not far off Switch Island. It's like a good like 15 minutes. So that's like a good 20 odd minute trip. And then you're down by Switch Island, which I don't really want to be, because then you're gonna start getting jobs trying to pull you in towards Liverpool, like Knowsley kind of way. And then that means I know I will just turn around, start heading back towards Ormskirk. So that £10 20 minute job turns into £10 40 minutes. Look at this one, 15 quid. Wants me to drive 2.5 miles away at 8 minutes, taking them to L4 to Liverpool, 21 minutes or 8 miles. So again, that's going to be like a 35-minute job, and then you're in Liverpool. Nightmare. So yeah, I mean, to be fair, there are some jobs coming through, but they are diabolical. Like I sent this one over to driver Denny before, which we were laughing at, and then another little job come through. Yeah, 5.77. It's a 15-minute job going 4 miles. Can't bother doing that 9 o'clock on Saturday night. This one pops up before, XL job. You'll be taken offline if we don't detect any activity. Ooh, petrified. It wanted me to go 23 minutes or nearly 16 miles to Wigan. Send me loads of jobs now. See, this one isn't too bad. XL. Take that. Carry on with this job. Yeah, 16 miles over to Wigan, 25 minutes to do a 7-minute job or 1.9 miles. So all in, you're looking at about 30 to 35 minutes, and you're looking at 18 miles, and it's offering me £8.45. Again, just like little ridiculous ones. So we'll go and do this one. This one wasn't too bad. I think it was paying like £8.50 or something, and it wasn't going very far. So yeah, having XL as an option definitely helps at times, because when these type of jobs come through, it makes up for any like kind of quiet spells you go through. So I'll see you in an hour. So final update, it has just turned midnight and I've had enough. The last job brought me within a stone throw of my house, and the range, I've run out of range again basically, so it all kind of ties in. So last update was around 9 o'clock. I've gone a little bit further afield over the past couple of hours. So first off was a little £4.18, 4-minute job going 1.2 miles. I then got a job which wasn't too bad. It was like £20. It wanted me to drive to Skelmersdale and then come back to Ormskirk, and it was going to take me less than 20 minutes, and it was paying like £21 or something. So I thought, yeah, go on, I'll take that. So I accepted it, and I thought, well, I'll sit here for like 30 seconds and give them the opportunity to cancel, because they would have to wait like 10 minutes for me to get there. So I sat there for 30 seconds, nothing. Thought, right, okay, set off. Got about a minute into the journey. I'm still in Ormskirk, like, and then they cancelled, which I was kind of expecting. But then I got a £6.50 cancellation fee, so I thought, well, that's not too bad for a minute's work, really. So then after that, I got a, where was I? It was Ormskirk had gone a little bit quiet, so I picked one up from, it didn't initially tell me, it just said it was like the outskirts of Ormskirk going to the outskirts of Southport. So I accepted that. It ended up being Farmer Ted's, which is Farmageddon, going to Skelmersdale New Road, Southport. That's basically just as you come into Southport. So I picked them up. That was a Uber X Priority, £17.81. It was a 15-minute job going 8 miles, but I did run about 10 minutes to it. What was funny about that was I had a couple of like voice messages going back and forth to driver Denny, and he was I said, yeah, I've just picked this up, I'm just on my way, told him where it was and that, and he was like, oh, her name's not Amy, is it? And I was like, yeah, it was Amy, I just dropped it off and such and such. He went, yeah. He said, I picked them up before and dropped them off at Farmageddon. Like, what's the odds of that? Like, Denny doesn't really work up this area, especially like not really as far as like Southport. And then the people he's picked up and took there, I've then picked up like, what, 5-6 hours later to take home. That was like, you couldn't make it up really. So I dropped them off and then I was in Southport. I then got a job from Southport back to Ormskirk. That was £15 2p, 16-minute job going 8 miles. And then I accepted a job because I like to pick one up, so as soon as a tip, I've got something to fall onto. I think it was supposed to be like a £10 XL job, but they cancelled. Another one then came up, which I accepted. That was that was going from Bearscough to Skelmersdale. That was an XL, £20, 24p. So that was a 20-minute job going 7 miles. I then left Skem and came back into Ormskirk. I got a little XL on Ormskirk going back to Bearscough, and that was the same family again who I'd picked up at the beginning of the shift, and I took to like a wedding kind of like reception. So I dropped them off there, and it was the same family that I took back. So that was £11.79. 9-minute job going 4.2 miles. So I dropped them off, and I was literally in the middle of nowhere, and then a job popped up which was like less than a mile away, still in the middle of nowhere, but coming back into Ormskirk, which was quite handy because that was the way I was going to go anyway. So that was £8.88, 11-minute job going 5.9 miles. So like I said, saved me driving back empty. And then I thought, I think I'll pretty much call it a night then, but then another job popped up where I was dropping these off. It was in the same street. It was like 4 doors down. So I thought, well, you can't really, like, it was a dead end as well, so I would have had to have driven past the customer to get off, so it was, I accepted it. It was £4.59. It was a 4-minute job going 1.5 miles. So, yeah, just pretty much just done them. I don't even know if that works out over the last 3 hours. I can't be bothered sitting there counting all that, to be honest. So I ended up finishing on, let me just get the total, £289.32. I've done 10 hours on the app, which equates to 8 hours 43 drive time. I've done 36 trips. So over the 10 hours, that finishes on £28.90 an hour as an average. So not too bad. Started off above 30. It did come down a little bit to about 27, but I finished basically on £29 an hour, which is good. Like I always say, on a Saturday, I always like to try and get at least £30 an hour. I don't mind coming out and doing long shifts for that, so not too bad. And all in all, not too bad of a shift. A little bit of a disaster for driver Denny there. I sent him a message before because I was up in Skem, and he said, oh, I've just dropped off, I'm all the way in Wigan. It's like, you know, he's getting about a bit tonight. And so he said, oh, well, you know, which way would you kind of come back? Because like he doesn't really work up this way, whereas I do. So I was like, well, if I was you, I'd probably head from Wigan into Skem, and then Skem to Ormskirk, and then from Ormskirk he can kind of go back towards, you know, like Liverpool way, Prescott Heighton, maybe St Helens or whatever. And then he messaged me and he went, oh, happy days. He said, a job's just come up Wigan to Kirby. So he's took that, thinking happy days, he can just jump straight on the East Lancs all the way back, and then he's not far from wherever. He He's just sent me a message just before I've pulled up to do my update. He said, that job, he said, I was 4 minutes away from dropping him off and he threw up in the car. I was like, fuck you hell. Felt bad for him. So he's just sent me some pictures over. Sick is sick. There's not like a nice way of putting it, but it's more, when you look at the pictures, it looks like someone's just basically wet themselves on the seat. So I messaged them back and I was doing the voice chat and I was like, to be fair, I know it's bad because someone's been sick, but I've had it happen to me twice, and this is why I don't do the long trips after midnight. I've mentioned it a million times. I've done one from Southport to Ormskirk, which is like 15-20 minutes. He threw up. And then I've done another one from Ormskirk back to Southport, like a couple of months later, after midnight, and he threw up. So that was it. I don't do long trips now after midnight. So I said to him, to be fair, it looks like you've got away with it a little bit there, because I know it's going to stink and it's going to have to be washed and everything, but both times it's happened to me, it's been full-on projectile vomit, chunks. One guy, it was all over the back door, it was inside the speaker, it made it as far as to the fridge in the front, the seats, the roof lining, everything. And both times it cost me £190 because I've had to have, like, I've got all the stuff myself. I've got carpet cleaner, I've got, you know, big top of the range Karcher steamer and everything, but I don't want to come out and just deal with all sick. I don't have the full-on chemicals to like neutralise sick and stuff like that. So this guy that I use, he has got. So he's basically come out and he was like steaming the speaker in the back, like the grill that goes across, and you could see all sick coming out from inside the speaker. So little things like that you wouldn't think of looking where the sick was got to. You know, we had to take all the seats out of the car. You know, and he spends like 3 or 4 hours giving it like a proper job, and then he sprays all like the proper chemicals that eats away, because it's obviously all like biomatter, because he says like it's not just the initial bit, it's obviously when the food, because it's vomit, when it goes off, it then gives off like a secondary kind of smell. So yeah, it is a pain in the arse, but like I said to Denny's, it's not too bad. There's not chunks. When I've dropped the passengers off, I've always made them get the chunks out. I've had the lads' mums out in the dressing gowns, scooping all bits and picking sweet corn up and all sorts to try and make it a little bit better. Then he gets back to me, he was like, fucking hell, nice one, Paul. He said, I'm sat in the car, I'm trying to drive home, I've got this smell of the vomit and I'm listening to you talking about chunks and everything. So yeah, he was fuming over that. I don't blame him, to be honest. I know how he feels now. I was well annoyed when it happened to me, because both times as well, like I said, it was just after midnight, and I was thinking, I've still got like another 2 or 3 hours of labour that I can go out and work, you know. So like I'd missed out on like best part of £90 on each one of them nights, and then trying to get the money off Uber is a nightmare. So if you haven't put a claim in before, like Denny hasn't put one in, so he's just asked me how'd you go about the claim and whatnot, and I'm like, you've got to take the pictures, you have to report it within 24 hours of it happening, and then I think it's 24 or 48 hours to then get it cleaned. So I've been lucky in the past where I've had the guy, once he came out on the Sunday and then he was able to give me an invoice, and the other time he came out on the Monday. So yeah, so I think it is 48 hours. You then have to submit the invoice to Uber within that 48 hours of the incident happening, because if you don't, they won't sort you out. And they then have different categories as well. So like I paid 190, Uber didn't give me anywhere near that. I think both times I think it was once I got 80 and once I got 90. So they have different categories of a passenger making a mess. So the lowest tier is like £20 to £30. Basically you submit the pictures, someone sits there and goes, yeah, go on, I'll give you 20 quid. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like for light dirt, and then you have like a middle category for like a larger kind of dirt, non kind of biohazard and whatnot, and then they have an upper tier which is like 80 to 90, which is for like sick, wee, extra room and stuff like that. And they came back to me saying like, oh yeah, I think that's about 80. And I was like, how can you say it's 80? I said, here's the invoice, it's cost me £190 to have it cleaned. And they're like, yeah, but unfortunately we can't charge the customer £190. And I'm like, but why? That's what it's cost. I'm not putting a bill on. So I had to argue the toss, basically, to get them to up it from 80 to the full 90. I was like, what have you got to do to achieve the top tier of 90? It was projectile vomit. It covered everything: the roof, the door, speaker, multiple seats in the back, all down. It was in the running tracks. It was on the fridge in the front. Like, it was everywhere. It put me off the road. Obviously on the Saturday night, I was off for the Sunday, I was off for the Monday. He's come out and cleaned it on the Monday. It's then taken like 2 days to dry. So luckily, at the time, I didn't have school contract work, because if I would have had that, what would I have done? I would have had to have cancelled that on Monday. Do you know what I mean? Because he couldn't come out to clean it until Monday. And then I would have to have cancelled it on Tuesday, because everything was still wet when he'd washed it. So you end up losing, you know. Like I said, I got 90 for it, so I lost 100 just on the clean. I lost the rest of the Saturday, which probably was about another £90, so call it £200. Granted, I don't work Sundays, but then I would have lost another 2 days of like my school contract. So I would have been down like best part to like £400 because someone was sick, because you work 1 day a week on Uber. Do you know what I mean? So you've just got to be careful when you come out and you're doing it, especially if you have other commitments, because like I said, I have my school contract work now, but I also have a lot of my own like airport runs, and I do weddings and take people on fishing trips and all sorts. So yeah, my cut off now that I've got the experience of working Uber, like I don't want to work past midnight, and that's why I come out early on a Saturday to get my hours in, to avoid basically what Denny's just gone through. So like, I know how tempting it is if you're all the way up in Wigan to take a nice decent job which is going to land you all the way back where you are, but just don't do it. Don't do long jobs when it's that late at night, because people have had the skinful, they've come out, had a bit of fresh air, they're sitting in the back of your car for like 20-25 minutes. That's when they're going to spew. So yeah, I just stick to the little tiny local ones. Like, I'll pick some students up and it's 0.8 of a mile to drop them off. And then I get really picky then if it's in like the town centre. I'm thinking, no, that's where all the bars are. I'll try and pick the jobs where people are at a house, at the mates, at the boyfriends or whatever, and they're just going 1-2 miles to get home. So yeah, it's little things like that. And yeah, Uber's a nightmare to deal with if someone's sick in your car. Another one I had was last year, where a guy damaged the side of my car. He scratched it with a plasma TV. So I turned up, I felt bad for the guy. He booked an XL. It looked like the landlord had just thrown him out. All his belongings were in the street, all these bin bags and everything. I was thinking, like, fucking hell, the landlord's there with a locksmith, and this guy who's like a bit of like a foreign guy, and he was like, oh, am I okay with all this? And I was like, fucking hell. It was only like a £6 job as well. I thought, this is going to take me ages, but I felt bad for him, so I was like, look, put whatever you want in the boot. I said, but in the back you can only put soft stuff. I seen he had like, you know, a big bin bag with like a blanket and that sticking out the top. So I said, oh, I can go in the back, that's fine. He had like a big massive stuffed teddy bear. So he was like, right, okay. So he's putting all that in. And then I walk around the other side. I think something was bleeping because I had the keys. And then I heard bang. I was like, fuck's that? So I walk around and he sat in the back with like this 50-inch plasma leaning on the seats. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, what was that bang? So as he's trying to climb in, he's caught my door on the outside and he's put like an inch scratch across it. I was like, that's not going in there, it's going to have to go in the boot. So he climbs back out. So we open the boot is absolutely rammed. It's not going to fit. And there's all like microwaves in there and everything. So I was like, fuck's sake. So he was like, well, what can I do? He said, because I can't leave it here in the street because someone's going to nick it. So I was like, Jesus. So I was like proper wound up. I said, right, the TV can go in the back, but it's going to have to go on your knee. He had it stood up on end on one of my leather chairs, and he's damaged the door. So anyway, he ends up climbing back in the back again, and now he's sat in the back with this like 50-inch plasma on his knee. It's like, so again, obviously he gets out anyway, long story short, he gets all the stuff out. So like I reported it obviously to Uber, because I thought, well, Uber's gonna sort this out. Uber messaged back instantly saying, this is why you have car insurance. So if they damage your vehicle, you have to take it up with your insurance company. And I'm thinking, like, it's my first year in Uber. Obviously, I know I'm doing all my other stuff, but I was paying £4,500 for my insurance. Imagine I phoned up and said, oh, there's a scratch on my door, it's going to cost, like, I don't know, £100 for chips away or something to come and sort that out. Imagine what my premium would have gone up to. You know what I mean? So I've then had to go and have that sorted out myself, which I think cost me like 70 quid. But I only got like £6 for that job, and that job ended up taking me like half an hour. So again, it's all like kind of swings and roundabouts. Like you kind of live, you learn. And now when it's saying, oh, if it's a house removal, I just cancel it and say, like, no, I don't do house removals just because it's an XL. It's okay if you've been shopping, or if it's turn up and someone's got like 2 boxes or something, I'm like, yeah, fine, put it in the boot. But yeah, I've turned up to a few, and it's like a full house removal. One guy messaged me and he said, I've got a double mattress. Fuck do you want me to do with that? Like, he wants me to turn up, he gets this big like pissy double mattress. I'd have to drop the seats and basically cover the back and then sit and, like, no, like, go and hire a van or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not for house removals. An XL means you can have up to 6 passengers, not stick your pissy double mattress in the back. So yeah, that's about it anyway. Enough ranting, and yeah, let me know how you got on your Saturday night, and I will catch you on the next one, which I don't know. I might come out and do something next week, I'm not too sure yet, but if not, I will see you next Saturday.